Lucky Lefty Podcast, Honora Boys. We are in the building on this Monday, and we are brought to you by Honora Whiskey. It is HonoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey. HonoraWhiskey.com. Bleav Network, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and we are presented by FanDuel. I am embarrassed to say what the spread on this Syracuse game is.
Uh-oh.
I'm embarrassed to say it, Lef. It was beyond my imagination. 34 and a half. 34 and a half points. The Fighting Irish are favored over the Syracuse Orange as Fran Brown brings his guys into Notre Dame Stadium on Saturday, 3:30 p.m. start. That's the kickoff. 34 and a half point favorites. You can find that and much more with a big November. Man, each week means something right now. All the fan bases are in a bluster, trying to defend their teams, their coaches, their players. Heisman talk. We got it all for you today. But you can find that and much more over at FanDuel.com. My fault. It was 34 and a half this morning. It is up to 35 and a half. With an over-under of 51. The over-under is only 51 and a half. So that means, of course, once again, Notre Dame's doing the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when you tap, and take some of that Honora whiskey as we celebrate another victory on Saturday, please make sure that you do it
responsibly.
Let's get it left. Lucky Lefty. I am Shaun Davis, SD2 Mics, that dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK'S ZAIRE. Brought to you by Honora Whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Tap in on the audio side. We drop audio edibles each and every day. We are presented by FanDuel. As I previously stated, 35 and a half point favorites are the Fighting Irish as they host the Syracuse Orange this Saturday afternoon, this upcoming Saturday afternoon. You can find that and more over at FanDuel and FanDuel.com. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave your comments and questions. We indeed respond to all. Hit that thumbs up. It helps with the views. We are the home of the misguided passion. And we are forever committed to making sure that we spin it different. So, Lef, how was your weekend, bro? I got a lot to talk about from the weekend. A lot to talk about.
Great weekend when you can be a Jags fan. Shout out to Jack Kaiser and the crew getting the dub against the overrated Justin Herbert Chargers. And then, Notre Dame collecting its usual November win on a nice Sunday. A nice Saturday. It was great. And then the cap off, Braun coming back, making that Laker team greater. And then, it's October finished, but November's even better.
Can we have more 12 o'clock starts for Notre Dame? Because they beat the heck out of Arkansas and they beat the heck out of Pitt. Early on. I'm like, I'll take it. Let's do 12 o'clock kickoffs. If they're going to play like that,
you sit in that hotel, just all right.
Especially on the road. We gave the stat last week. They are they have been a considerably better defense on the road away from Notre Dame Stadium this year.
Yeah, just
it's
make
just
it
been
hard,
better,
especially after the team can feel like they have momentum after a good drive. The next drive, it just looks totally different. Like we figured it out, we've adapted, and when you start stretching teams' drives out throughout a game, they score little, and we just continue to be explosive on our end. But the biggest thing that made me upset was just this. Pat Narduzzi, in my opinion, opened up this Pandora's box where all of a sudden these Notre Dame games are not must win for teams. So they do things like Syracuse is doing and going into somebody's class and pulling somebody out to see who wants to just play this impossible game. A freshman walk-on, really? Fran Brown, that's what you throwing at us? That's the level of respect that we're getting from teams now, where they just kind of happily put together whatever just to survive the week. This is crazy. This is the second consecutive. No wonder why the points are so out of control. Vegas is like teams are literally quitting on Notre Dame because they're trying to focus on their schedules finishing the season. It appears. Now Stanford's out of the running, so they don't count. Well, Syracuse is too, but they're just putting in whoever. How disrespectful you go into a game when you're playing Jeremiah Love and you got a freshman walk-on guy? Really? You that down bad? So I just find it highly disrespectful, and that's why Marcus Freeman has a hard time with these handshakes post-game. He had to get a dude to shoulder like, get off me, man. What did you put out there?
Gave him the church hug, Left.
He's like, man, get off me. Like, turn his back and everything. I don't even want to. Don't make me turn around. That's what one of them handshakes. Don't make me turn back around. I'm done with you. Ain't no buddy, because like he said, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to just go celebrate. I'm giving all these great Oscar performance, halftime speeches and pregame speeches, and we go out there and the team already folded. The team already taking a nap, subbing guys in and out. He like, man, I traveled all the way here. I done blessed you guys with game day, blessed you guys with the most fans ever. Blessed you with Aaron Donald wanting to come back. He said, this is the first time. Just sound familiar. Like LeBron James. First time I ever came back to the school. Aaron Donald came for this game. He even said his greatest memory was going 1-3 versus Notre Dame. Y'all bring the GOAT back. And y'all go out there and lay an egg. Y'all, like, what did we say on the podcast prior? We said they're going to go out there, give us a first couple hard push, 2 first good drives. They're going to pack it in. I mean, we was killing them after a while. It was like, man, this is not right. And it's to the disrespect that teams want to take a day off. When have you ever heard of that? Taking a day off because you want to focus on other things. Well, that's shameful, and we should put 100 points on them.
Left, it's so crazy because, first of all, Aaron Donald pushing Pat McAfee and almost making him break his neck. Pat McAfee was picking Notre Dame as he stood on his chair, and Aaron Donald had taken his shirt off just like McAfee, thinking that they both were about to pick Pitt, and he picks Notre Dame, and literally he pushed him off the chair, bro.
Yeah, Aaron Donald still can play.
I thought McAfee was about to break his neck. I was dying laughing.
Oh, yeah.
I was dying laughing. But let me tell you something, man. I think I've shared this story. Aaron Donald, first ballot Hall of Famer, college Hall of Famer, might be, I mean, you got Hugh Green, Mean Joe Green. You got some dudes that have their jerseys retired hanging up there at Acrisure Stadium. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. He might be best of the best, bro. That kid.
Easily. He can still play. That's the funny part. He can still go out there and play.
I told you he's the biggest miss in evaluation I've ever had. I told you that story, right?
No,
like when the buzz first started for Aaron Donald, I'm like, who is this dude? If you have a GTB question, super chat, get it in. And they played Notre Dame prime time on a Saturday night, and Zach Martin worked Aaron Donald over. Just worked them over. And I was like, this is the dude
Not knowing Zach Martin is a first ballot Hall of
Famer. Exactly. Not knowing that Zach Martin is just a dude.
Yeah.
So I'm calling Aaron Donald trash. I'm like, man, he's trash. And lo and behold, you get to the NFL and they're both first ballot Hall of Fame.
First ballot, like no question. They both retired with years still being able to play.
And I believe they both entered the NFL the same year and left the NFL the same year.
That's awesome. That's exactly how you would want a career if you could write it out. And it's even, that goes along with the odd story of Luke Kuechly, who can still play, being the equipment manager for the Panthers. You would have thought, I mean, that's kind of you over there setting up people's pads when you need to be putting them on. So for the front office to allow Luke Kuechly to be the equipment manager when the Panthers are 6-5, like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So I got Noop Life 007. Is there an explanation as to why we play at 10:30 p.m. at Stanford? Yes, there is. Notre Dame is money. You see what they did for the economy of Pittsburgh on Saturday. You see what they did for the ratings for an ACC opponent on Saturday. Game day, STEMI package is always connected to Notre Dame. Stanford can't get half of their stadium full. So ESPN and Stanford are like, hey, Notre Dame coming out here, playoffs on the line. Let's put it at 7 o'clock Pacific time and see if we can attract the crowd. Let's see if we can get bigger ratings, because we put it on during the day at the 3:30 slot. Nobody's going to watch with the Big Ten games, with the big SEC games in that slot.
Nope.
We got to put it in the 7:30 slot or the 10:30 slot Eastern, 7:30. They know Notre Dame fans are going to stay up and watch it.
Yep.
They know Notre Dame fans are going to stay up and watch it. So it's really, in my opinion, it's a great business move by ESPN and Stanford. Great business move.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to stay up to watch it.
Yeah, you got to find time to squeeze the most out of the juice. You got Notre Dame on your schedule. You're not going to waste that slot just because it would fit early on. No, you got to get the maximum out of it. Stanford won't see that much until we come back.
Yeah, I absolutely understand it. However, I can announce here today, you will not see me on the post-game show. No, sir.
You get the first half, it'll be over.
No. Post-game show won't start until 1 a.m.
Yep.
Nah. No, sir. Nah. Not the kid. Not I, said the cat. Aussie 03. How does the committee view an 11-1 Ole Miss with no head coach? I mean, look, I don't know who has the leverage. Like, even if Lane Kiffin is considering one of these big jobs, they have to wait on him, right? They can have a handshake agreement, but yet wait on him.
Yeah, I mean,
because they have to allow him to coach his team.
Brian Kelly would have left like he did.
Oh man, come on, man.
And then the team got crushed.
Brian Kelly would have left. You know he would have. Or they can just send, look, Notre Dame as always can help. We've been breaking teams and programs all year long.
All year. Arkansas.
We've been doing that. So just line Notre Dame up to take on Ole Miss, and they can just have an early death.
Yeah, send them out.
Just in their misery.
We the Green Reaper. The Green
Reaper. Lane could go to his new spot in peace.
Yeah, in peace. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
We'll bring good ratings for his last hurrah.
That would be great. Yes. Will this be Lane Kiffin's last game?
Yeah.
At Ole Miss. Yes. You're right.
He closes a chapter playing a great storybook program. Loss, but it was all good. Good way to end it,
Absolutely. We'll help you out.
Yeah.
Because the way it's looking right now, teams are kind of like I've never seen teams wave the white flag, bro.
Never seen it.
They're just literally waving the white flag, bro.
And doing it in the biggest stages.
Now, you know what the funniest thing was? Let me tell you what the funniest thing was. And ABC is petty for this. ABC, you're petty for this. They literally played Pat Narduzzi's halftime speech, where this man had the gall to say, first of all, his pregame speech, where he said everybody's about to find out in real time who Pitt is. Really? Then at halftime, he said, when we come back and win this game, I said, this dude is out of his mind. He doesn't even believe the words that are coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. He was done.
He doesn't believe it.
He just happened to, I mean, even the pregame interviews he was having, trying to backtrack. Oh, I'm just sarcastic. No, you said 100 points a couple times. Like, you wanted to overly tell us, look, I do not care. This is not a must win. And you know it got up to the head man because he had to backtrack right before the game. So it was done. It was over with. So when Marcus Freeman don't want to shake your hand because teams are literally quitting on us before the game even happens, like he said, he didn't feel like he got, nobody to talk to.
Okay, I'm about to say something, Left. I want you to marinate on it because we're about to get into your offensive takeaways from the game. But I'm going to say something, and then I want to come back to it when you get done talking offense and defense. I have two statements. Chat, listen up. LL Nation, listen up. I don't know if a Notre Dame team has had the best duo at a position, offense and defense, at the same time in the last 20 years. I'll say that again. I don't know if I've watched a Notre Dame team that possesses the best duo at a position in the last 20 years of Notre Dame football. But we're watching it live and in color. We're watching it live and in color with the 2025 Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
The best duo?
Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love are the best running back duo in the last 20 years at Notre Dame. And it's not even close.
Well, Josh Adams and
no, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No.
Was that Dex?
I know that's your crew. No. It's not even close.
Josh Adams almost had 2,000 yards.
It's not even close. Josh Adams was getting darn near every handoff that year. It's not even close. It's not even close. You know, Housey knows. Malik, he loyal. That cat Left is loyal. He always rides for his boys.
Josh Adams definitely has to. He was about to win the Heisman.
You're right. Until he hit Miami. I said the last 20 years because I had to think about the running back room under Lou Holtz went so deep. But that's obvious. This one, I know I'm jumping out the window early. I'm predicting this, but I see it now. Notre Dame has the best safety duo that they've had in the last 20 years. Find me a better safety. Find me a better safety duo. Find me one in the last
Xavier
20 years.
Don.
Say what?
Xavier and Don.
Left. Tay has a higher ceiling than Xavier, bro.
Oh, come on.
Tay has two. Tay is further along in his first year as a starter than X was. Tell me he's not.
X came on the last 2 years.
Tell me at this point in their first season as starters, tell me Tay is not further along than X.
Well, Tay played his first year.
No, he did not. He was hurt last year.
Second year.
He's a red shirt freshman.
Yeah, I'm saying Xavier Watts played what? His last two? Really, really good. But you saying that him and Adon are better than
Bro, I said I'm jumping out the window early because we have to see.
I gotta think. Yeah, now I gotta think of the same.
It's coming. I'm telling you what's coming. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you what's coming. Because basically your answer was Adon is part of the duo.
Right.
That you put forth. So Adon is the staple. We know he's
Adon's in there. Adon's in there. Yeah.
Now it's all about Tate. This is all about Tate and how his career progresses. Because if he continues to ascend, they're going to be the best duo at safety in the last 20 years at Notre Dame. And as the chat is pointing out, Luke Talich is making plays. You got Jadon Blair in the holster. Heck, you got Joey O'Brien coming. Mike Mickens is on a heater.
Yeah.
A straight heater.
He's going crazy.
Yes. The running back duo is obvious. The safety duo is a projection. It's a projection. It's a projection. It's a projection that I believe is going to manifest. The kid is just too talented, bro. He's more physically gifted than X. I think we can agree on that. He's longer. He's fast.
He's a better playmaker.
No, he's fast. Trust me, he's faster than X. I've seen it. He's rangier than X too. Yo, hey, I'm telling you, man, this dude, he would have had 2 pick sixes on Saturday.
We had 2, yeah, one clean one.
If Drake Bowen doesn't bat the ball down,
yeah,
he's literally cutting the receiver off and taking another one back to the house.
Crazy.
And Adon Schuler, 2 plays changed the trajectory of the entire game.
Yeah, they hit across the middle.
They hit across the middle, and then they score. They get a little momentum.
And he get to take 2 back. Yep.
He takes it all the way back. Whenever they thought they had something going, he snuffed it out. 2 plays. That's a perfect segue. We were going to talk offense, but let's go ahead and talk about that defense, Lev. What stood out for you? And who stood out for you?
It was just we knew that the Penn State offense was going to give up sacks and they were going to turn the ball over. And that's exactly what we took advantage of. And we played big in like you said, the moments that the game could have been kept alive and stifled. Like when CJ threw the pick 6 or, the 3 and outs when we didn't need it. The defense is just such a constant that, you may have had a great momentum drive stopping our offense, but it's just tough sledding to just jump out there on our defense and just quick score a couple plays and get back in the game. It just doesn't happen. You may work us down the field, but that's 8-9 plays. I mean, the first 10 plays of the last 3 games, teams look pretty good. But that was just the first 10. After that, it's just been they calling the bottom of their playlist, it looks like. They just running out of ideas. Because we've just adjusted to it. Something that hit for 20 hits for 5 now. Now you're like, damn, what we going? We mapped it out the first 10. Great. Drove it down. Good time of possession. Got 3, got 7. Put them on their heels a little bit. Every time. Next thing you know, we come out, we score. They come back out, 3 and out. We come back out, score. They come back out, turnover. You're like, oh my goodness, it's over it. It's over it. And then their best drive is usually before half. And they make a couple big plays, they get close, and they get 3. Or they miss it. So the fact that the defense is just stifling in the fact that we just don't give up explosive touchdown drives, it extends the game for teams, and they just like, I see why they waved the white flag. Because then you start looking at the points, then you start seeing Jeremiah Love 94-yard touchdown. You're like, oh my God, we got it's coming from all over the place. And then you start turning up. Then the bad habits of your offense show up. Now you stressing. Now you throwing picks. Now you taking chances. Now you holding on the ball longer. So that type of physicality, I think it was set by the better parts of our defense. You know, your Tay had an early pick six, set the tone. Don came back right after. It wasn't even like later in the game. It was right after. Another haymaker. And then just the overall presence from the defensive front seven where Onyé, bull rushing the guy, making a play, just creating a dominant pressure. It didn't necessarily feel – it always felt like we was in control, but our stars popped out when they needed to. In the moments of the game where it's like, okay, we need to put the nail in the coffin, our stars on defense popped out. Offensive, yeah, so – and then just the consistency. Chris Ash, I think everybody needs to get a Hallmark gift card and say thank you. Just write in there, thank you, Chris Ash. We were sorry. We jumped the gun. We had a little PTSD from previous new D coordinators. But you really changed it around, man. And guys like Stroman play better. When I thought he was done, I was like, man, sit him on the side. What is he doing? He's chicken with his head cut off. But now he's been in better position and making some plays. So good to see our guy Young. Brian Young could have had a pick six. Got to work on his hands. You could tell he got excited because he jumped for no reason. What are you jumping for? That was eyesight. You could have just ran through it. He got excited, but that was his versatility showed up. And then of course, our captain Drake Bowen just being who he is, man. I just think this is one of those games where he just shows his grit. He may not make the best play of the day, but he's making plays that lead up to it. So I think we gave all of Pitt what they can handle. But in the beginning, their running back Reed, I knew he was going to have a tough time at first tackling, but we adjusted by gang tackling him. He was cooking us one-on-one early on. I was like, oh, we gotta get a handle on that. But then, eventually you start 6-7 dudes hitting you, then it's a little different. So I think that was a good test because I feel like teams would go to that. They saw Texas A&M and say, okay, we get some matchups on our linebackers. But when you have a Don Schuler backing you up on and coming through with tackles, and it's a tough thing when you got 100 yards you got to gain. So it's still doing a great job defensively covering for offense in parts, and it's going to be something that's going to be hard for a team to do both. Like Ohio State just doing whatever they want, but to be able to stop the team on defense, which we're doing a great job of scoring in multifaceted ways, and we got the stars. We got star players now. It's one thing to have a good offense, but against good teams, you need star players. So we got that. And we're not limited in an area. We fully limbed being able to throw and run the football. So that's a whole thing in and of itself. And then defensively, unless you just got the best offense, that's just what it has to be. You got to have a top 10 offense. That's just what it has to be.
Yeah.
And that's to have a fighting chance. Because then it's like, okay, who can score the most? But it's only, 3 teams that can even possibly do that with us? Texas A&M showed you they can do it because they're still doing it. Miami doesn't want to see us right now, not with how we cooking up. Ohio State can do it with us. But who else is fully equipped on both sides like that? That's, we're evaluating our kicking game more seriously than the major parts of our football team. So I think that's a good spot to be in. Well, not a great spot to be in, but something that's fixable as opposed to having a leak in your defense somewhere.
Yeah, Left, I agree with you. I want to point out something. I'm going to say these names. You want to ask, how does a team get on a roll like this? How does a team recover from two gut-wrenching losses to Miami and Texas A&M? It's very simple. Drake Bowen, Adon Schuler, Will Pauling, Donovan Heinrich, Billy Schrauff, Emil Wagner. Your six captains. Your six captains are balling.
Yeah.
When your leaders lead the way, we can get into numbers, play calls. It's really simple. Drake Bowen started playing better.
Yep.
Billy Schrauff, before he got injured, dominant. Donovan Heinrich, before he got injured with the concussion, balling. Emil Wagner struggled mightily early on, much more solid. Will Pauling, Jaden Greathouse goes down. All he does is come in, produce, put up touchdowns. When your leaders are productive in leading the way with all of that youth and talent behind them, this is when you get a team that's like a locomotive, man. They are like a locomotive right now. You talked about that defense, Left. They gave up 219 on the day. 73 before the last Pitt drive. Let me say this. Before Pitt's last drive against the backups to the backups, not the backups. They were playing the backups to the backups on defense against Pitt's starters. Before they had the backup quarterback in. Before that drive Left, total offense, Jeremiah Love had more total yards than Pitt had as an entire offense in the game before the last drive. Just think about that. Jeremiah Love had more total yards in the game than the entire Pitt offense had before that last drive.
Yeah.
How good is this Notre Dame defense? On average, since they played Purdue, starting with the Arkansas game, they are holding teams 164 yards below what they average in total yards per game.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
They are holding teams 18.8 points below their season points per game average during the last 9 games.
That's really good, man.
Really good. Are you kidding me? So then the Navy, wait a minute, the Navy game bumps them back up close to 100 yards per game defensively against rush defense. It inflated that. What do they do against Pitt? And a pretty good running back. What do they do against Pitt and Desmond Reed? They hold Pitt to 70 yards rushing on 25 carries for 2.8 yards.
Oh my goodness.
Per carry. Yeah, they're like, okay, Navy inflated our numbers. Let's go ahead and bring it right back down. Hey, man. Look, I know what people are going to say, and I won't even sit up here and argue with you. Who have they played? Well, this is my thing. I don't care who they've played. The trend is when you play Notre Dame, you're not going to get your numbers. That's the trend.
That's just what it is.
For whomever they play, you're not getting your points per game. You're not getting your total yards. The closest that anybody came, I believe, to being under 100 and within 10 points of what they do per game was USC and Boise State. USC and Boise State. got under the 100 yards less than their total yards per game. Everybody else, domination.
That includes Miami, Texas A&M.
No. We're just starting with Arkansas. The first 3 weeks, the defense was not good. So right now, as it sits, wait a minute. Pitt was 0-13. I've never seen a team go 0 on third down, left. Pitt was 0-13 on third down.
He said there's not much to win. It's not his most win game.
0-13 on third down.
That's insane.
That's insane. Notre Dame right now is right at 98.8. They're back under 100. 13th in the nation. 3.1 yards per rush. That's 12th in the nation. Hey, Al Washington, my brother in Christ. Your boys are balling.
They balling.
Your boys are balling. Because I felt so bad for Mason HEINTSCHEL. So bad for that kid.
Yeah, he had no chance.
He competed. If he didn't compete, Notre Dame probably would have had double-digit sacks.
Easily.
It was that bad. They ended up with 4. But that young man was running for his life. Let's go to the pass. Oh, yes. All day. Opponent completion percentage. Notre Dame, 12th in the nation, allowing 56.27% completion percentage from opposing quarterbacks. Notre Dame blitzed and pressured 54% of the snaps on Saturday. You talking about coming after a kid? They came after Mason HEINTSCHEL from the first snap. They're still interception percentage. They were already at the top. They're intercepting basically 5% of passes thrown against them. Sack rate, they jumped up to 31st. 7.3% of every drop back is a sack. And we stretched that out. I would be very interested if you stretched it out to pressures per snap. They're probably double digits, the way this defensive line is playing. Absolutely amazing. Lucky Lefty podcast. We're getting ready to go to the offense, and then we'll hear from Marcus Freeman. Joe Papiti, thank you for the super chat. What's up, LL family? I feel that Pitt was working super hard just to get first downs, and we're out of gas and plays by the time the first half was over. Yeah, they basically, Joe, went to pick plays.
Yeah, it was over with.
Yeah, it was over with. Rub routes, pick plays, crossers. They were just like, yeah, that's a great observation. And another one from Joe Papiti. And yes, Narducci is a whiny bee. It was Bush calling that T.O. Yeah. You know what made it worse? This is why I called. He got into the press conference and Pat Narduzzi was like, we never quit. I said, stop capping.
You quit on Monday. You
literally, the play before, with 17 seconds, you ran a halfback dive, my brother.
Yeah.
If you were trying to score, why are you running a halfback dive? Come on, man. Come on.
Cat was out of the bag too early.
Sid Irish. You know what, Sid Irish? This is a great point. Before we get to the offense, I listened to a couple of Pitt content creators, and they were like, yo, we looked so small in comparison to Notre Dame. And my heart went out to them because I remember the days when we had good teams, but every time we stepped on the field with like a Georgia, Alabama,
it was so small.
We were so small.
Northwest bigger than us.
Yes.
It was bigger than us.
Yes.
Northwest had like 225 safeties. Like we was like,
yeah. What? We have been there as a fan base. We're not there now.
Purdue was bigger than us up front for like 2 or 3 years when I was at Notre Dame. Where they had like Gaston was 6'5". They had a dude next to him was 6'6" D tackle. Like what?
Man.
Yeah, they were recruiting big, way big. So yeah, We didn't start changing until we got a Jerry. 2012 was big. We was just big but smaller than Alabama at that time, which is crazy.
Yeah, you talking about, dude? That is
big,
yes,
but way smaller than Alabama in 20. Because you got Manti, Eshak, Tuitt, Niggs. I mean, we had a big team until you ran into the bigger team. I just couldn't believe. I mean, our Calabrese was like 240. You know, Fox was big.
Yeah.
We had some big dudes. And then they had DJ Flugner, Eddie Lacy, these guys were free. That was the last time college football was like big.
Yeah.
Then you start getting to these, skinny mini receivers and all of that. But
Pitt's wide receivers. That's why, man. Woo, man.
They were babies. Malachi Fields looked way big. Because I was thinking, like, man, Malachi Fields looked really good. And then, like you said, I'm looking at the DB. I'm like, wait a minute. This DB's like 5'8".
Bro, that cat Adon Schuler made Hicks look like he was in the prayer line getting hands laid on, bro.
Oh, they look like
he dislodged him from the ball, and Hicks stayed there on one knee for like 30 seconds, bro.
It was crazy. Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just a physical. This is because the argument becomes, I think you pointed it out on X, like the bag arguments jump up, like teams are quitting. Navy decided not to play Horvath. And Pitt, Narduzzi pretty much waved the white flag. They didn't even try. And I'm like, it can seem that way. It can seem that way. It didn't matter if Blake Horvath played. They got whooped the same way. Navy would have been beaten the same way. And I promise you, Pitt came out trying. Notre Dame just beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah, we really start whooping them after.
That's all. Pitt tried very hard. Mason HEINTSCHEL tried very hard. Their defensive front tried very hard. Notre Dame is just bigger, better, and faster. That's just it. And it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. And it's been a long time as Notre Dame fans when we've had that type of feeling. Where it's like, we're just bigger than you. We're faster than you. And we're just better than you.
Yeah,
yeah. So, I want to ask a question before we get to the offense. Hey, chat, you all let me know. Has your anxiety about the season, the regular season that is, and the defense dissipated? Can you finally let go?
Or finally listen to us? Because we've been saying going into this season, defense is going to start a little slow. Offense got to play spectacular coming out. And eventually the scales will be balanced, hopefully with the offense in a better shape.
Yeah. Yeah. GTB
from Jacksonville. Come on.
Oh, here we go. Gavin Wright, thank you for the GTB. Sean, appreciate you confirming Jake Melnick's for me the other day. I look forward to trying it when I'm back in the shot. Hey, let me know when you're back in the shot, Gavin. Reach out. Let me know. Halsey03, if you had to rank our best defensive players on the field, where do you rank right now? Best individual players. Four at the least. Fourth.
He's top
third
five.
Or fourth. Third or fourth. He's definitely top five. And that's preferential. Anytime you start doing that top five, right? Because I can name Boubacar because defensive line and pass rush is so prominent and necessary. So does that elevate him because of the position he plays? Or am I just talking about like who's the best player? Leonard Moore is like the only person definitively that I'm like, okay, Leonard Moore is better right now. And you see the difference when 6 comes back healthy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Mason plays.
You see the difference when 6 comes back healthy. I said he's not healthy from week 1. Like he's not healthy. In camp, I said he's not healthy. He looks a whole lot better when he's healthy. He wasn't healthy at the end of last year. That's all I'm saying. I'm not calling him Leonard Moore. I just know he's not what he had been showing due to health.
Right.
I will put him top 5, probably 3rd or 4th. That's a great question, Hossey. That's a great question. That's a great question. That entire defensive line. I'm glad Joshua Burnham is, once again, a guy that wasn't healthy early in the year. Health is just so important, man. He's healthy and he's doing. Do you remember the first time I hit you after I saw Joshua Burnham as a true freshman in spring practice? And I hit you and I said, yo, this kid is small. Because I think he's added like 50 pounds. I said, this kid's first step is crazy.
Yeah.
I hit you after I saw him in his first practice. And I was like, Joshua Burnham is going to be somebody.
Facts.
And lo and behold, he's proven that to be right. And Jared Dawson is just, man. Oh, man. Dude, that cat Al Washington is developing players like crazy right now. And he's recruiting his butt off. Man. Lucky Lefty podcast. Join us tomorrow. Left is going to break down some of the big plays and a couple of mistakes made by CJ Carr. And we're always fair and impartial. Always. People don't like the fact that we're fair and impartial and tell the truth, point out the positive and the negative, but it is what it is. So we'll go into the tape tomorrow with Left because no one breaks the tape down, especially at the quarterback position, than Left himself. Lucky Lefty podcast, FanDuel. You will find Notre Dame installed as a 35.5-point favorite going up against the Syracuse Orange this Saturday, 3:30 p.m. kickoff. Senior day, so it should be pretty cool. Marcus Freeman talked about Steve Angeli and hoping that he comes back so they can honor him. That's a guy that's no longer at the program that you honor, not Sam Hartman, who was a transfer coming out last. I still think that was one of the worst decisions ever. Just absolutely botched. They just botched.
This is an example of why.
Yes, they botched that senior day.
Because what are you going to do with Steve? So I don't even think Steve wanted to come because I think he was always set in his mind he wanted to play Notre Dame, especially when he was cooking. So I know he's probably super depressed during this week, considering what he was doing before. So it's one of those things.
And USC Oregon, a big game for Notre Dame to watch. You want USC to win this game against Oregon up at Outson Stadium. They are 10.5-point underdogs with an over-under total of 58.5. So Notre Dame fans, I'm not telling you to root for USC, but I can tell you to root against Oregon. How about that? You don't have to root against USC, just root for USC, just root against Oregon. Right. Do it that way if it helps you out. You can find that and much more over at FanDuel, FanDuel.com, and download the FanDuel app. You're right. It's a tough game for USC, first of all, because USC can't stop physical teams. If Oregon can run the ball, Iowa ran it down their throats. Just ran it down their throats. Iowa just couldn't make enough plays in the passing game. That won't be a problem with Dante Moore. So it probably will end up being a shootout. All right, let's go to the offense left, where Notre Dame, it was iffy, some mistakes. Once again, getting stopped inside the 5, coming away with nothing. Pick 6, another interception. CJ Carr, 21 of 32, 212, 6.5, 6.6 yards per, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 62 on the QBR. Jeremiah Love, 23 for 147, 6.4 per pop with a touchdown, long of 56. Jadarian Price, he did most of his damage in special teams with his 2 returns, 8 carries, 21 yards. That's 2.6. As a team, 36 carries for 175 yards against one of the best rush defenses in the nation. Darn near 5 yards per pop and 2 touchdowns. The running backs had over 5 yards per pop. You take away CJ Carr's rushes and yards, then you have over 5 yards per pop from the running backs. Malachi Fields once again comes up just short of going over the 100-yard mark. Back-to-back weeks against Navy, he gets right there and can't get over the 100-yard mark. 7 receptions, 2 just immaculate receptions, 1 for a touchdown, 14.1 yards per reception, 2 touchdowns, with a long of 35 on a beautiful throw and catch that had DK Metcalf just wowed on the sideline as he watched Malachi Fields dive and make that one-handed catch. Eli Raridan left 6 catches, 67 yards. He should have had 2 touchdowns. Like you said, if he had spatial awareness, it could stay in bounds. He probably has more yards.
His mental mistakes right now. But anyway, I think it was his game. I think, we talked a little bit last week how he didn't really see the targets, and Denbrock must have heard us and said, all right, we'll turn this into the Eli game. I mean, we were forcing it to him at some points, but it's one of those things where, once again, we can pick and choose who we want to have a day. And it definitely still needs some continuity, man. I mean, as many of good plays that we were able to accomplish, it's just no continuity outside of handing the ball off to Jeremiah Love. I don't really see I just see us piece plays around that instead of it being like a solid attack. Like, CJ is really just the launch it guy. We run. All right, CJ, time to launch it. It's not so much of a CJ's 2-minute drive, all about him. He's breaking it down. He's throwing. It's like we're going chunk, run. And it works. For the most part, we're going to love our Jordan Faison screens and, our long handoffs with that. But it to me, when you're thinking about playing at Ohio State, you think about playing a rematch game. I think CJ needs, for the playoffs especially, up his average to 260. That's telling me that you're having a strong, consistent impact on the game, because against a great team, when you're playing 212 with mistakes like that, and yeah, the point margin is crazy, but that pick 6 and the ill-advised pick, that's just something that you can't have in closer games. And yeah, you had some amazing down the field plays, but that number 260 is the magic number of where I think his progression comes getting ready for the playoffs. Because obviously, you look at the game, we could have had 400 yards thrown. I mean, it was open. The bank was open. And I think that he took some big shots too. Like, I don't know, some of them shots was
well, like one of those shots, let me tell you something. Marcus Freeman made one big mistake, and I don't know what he was doing. He called timeout. And I'm like, you don't have a field goal kicker. What are you trying to do? Get in position to throw a Hail Mary? Like, you won the first half.
Yeah.
And then CJ gets hit, almost fumbles the ball, almost gives Pitt a chance to put points on the board before the half. That was like the one glaring mistake made by Marcus Freeman. Like, why are you calling a timeout right now? For what?
Yeah, and I get you want to apply pressure, you want to practice and work on things. I just think that because of the way offense is built, there's just that piece missing, because for instance, you can have an Eli Raritan day this week, but the week before you have a Will Pauling day. Now on Eli Raritan's day, we don't really see too much of Will Pauling. And when you're in the playoffs, I don't know if we can exist in a model where we're just not using everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're just like, okay, we're going against Georgia. All right, it's the Will Pauling game. And then in Georgia game, we lose by 7, but Malachi Field has 2 targets. Eli Raritan has 2 targets. Jeremiah Love has 6 carries. And then you got Will Pauling with 15 targets and 80 something yards. It's just like that's how we play football. So if a team was ever to really damper the run, do we have a consistent passing game outside of throwing it deep?
Mm.
Do we have a passing game that can run out a clock if just the run was ever to be limited? Now I think it's a lot to ask a team to be able to do that, but CJ is playing off of the run. The offense still isn't a passing offense, if that makes sense. So that is
I
where
follow.
that's where I'm kind of feeling as if we can do this against these teams that we're playing because 98% of them can't fully make us do anything else.
Right. They're not good. Yeah, they're not
Denbrock,
good.
you can't really evaluate Denbrock outside of these bigger moments because of the fact that he's looking at it like, man, what do you want? We can do. Y'all complained about this last week, we can do it this week. Y'all say this last week, we're gonna do it this week. Y'all don't like the direction that we're gonna. So he's changing the offense week to week. But when you look at other teams like Ohio State, which is the best team, whatever, they are the same every week. They're going to get to that 40, throw it deep. They're going to run that football. They're going to do the same. Julian Sands numbers are going to be the consistent, So there's an identity there in that aspect because we all know they could easily just abuse the receivers they got and have crazy numbers in the passing, but they're forming an identity that's tough.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, we're like, okay, if y'all gonna give us no safeties, it's a no safety day. We just gonna kill you, which I think is a strategy of winning. But when
Mm-hmm.
you're playing another team that's solid and knows who they are, we can't just be picking and choosing and throwing anything. And that's where I feel like it'll run into some trouble. But we have such great players on this, and it's just hard to beat that on an individual level. Yeah, you may stop Jeremiah Love this drive, make a couple good tackles, and then Jordan Faison slips for a big game. You got us hunkered down. Jeremiah Love comes off the field. You're like, oh, I can take a deep breath. And then we put Darian Price, and he makes a big play. And then Eli Raritan's chipping away at these little routes. So it's like, it's easy to judge, but we still won't get tested till a team is formidable enough, if that makes sense.
Man, look, this Notre Dame offense or this Notre Dame team reminds me of Friday when they were the guards, security guards at the mall. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And they had the little booth, and Day Day was Craig was like, "Man, it's small up in here." Day Day was like, "No, you big up in here." And it's like that for me. That is like everybody wants to say, "Oh, Pitt, they're not good. Oh, Navy, they weren't good. Oh, these teams are giving up. Oh, they're small." No, Notre Dame is just big and damn good. Pardon my
Yeah.
French. Notre Dame is just big and damn good. That's what it is. That's what it is. They two things can be true. They might be small. They might be everything that you're saying. Yes, coaches wave the white flag with some of their decisions. But at the end of the day, you know what else is true? Notre Dame is just bigger, better, faster, and just beat the crap out of both teams.
Yeah, we don't have to necessarily be the most tricky, diciest team out there because we just don't have to. I think we get in our own head sometimes, overthinking things, trying to be creative in spots where we don't need to be. I no
bruh,
longer want to seeing
bruh.
let's go horizontal on a 1 yard game play
Right.
ever again. I'd rather take us get sacked in the backfield or tackle for loss trying to run north and south. I don't think that we have a high percentage of running rollout plays, things to the sideline, even
Mm.
throwing to the front pylon because it's like, dude, you have the whole end zone and we're abusing the front pylon, abusing it. That's the smallest space in the red zone, and we constantly attack it. We either roll into it, handing it off, anything horizontal. I just don't get why. Because
Left.
we it's just
I
silly.
will say this. I will say this. And we're going to show this play tomorrow. I agree with you. It was a bad play call, right? But CJ had a wide open receiver that he could have gone to on that
I
play.
believe it. It's just
But
that's the attrition of the play.
but
He
wait a
doesn't.
minute. That wide open receiver ran the back of the end zone. What you have been asking for, the wide open receiver was right there. CJ just never progressed to him. He just never
Okay.
progressed to him. I mean, it was
Even
wide open.
even look to the touchdown when we threw just a nice little arrow route to Eli. I mean, that's just what we run and what he looks for in practice, what he
Mm-hmm.
looks for in the game. That's what we talk about in the meetings. We always try to outflank and get on the edge, but CJ has enough talent where
But
we
it's
can
been all year left. That's the thing. It's been there all year. Like these are the throws that are wide open all year because
all
teams are
year.
so worried about our rush running backs. They're so worried about our run game. These
And we're
throws
still
wide
we're
open.
playing right into the defense hands almost because we're still running quarterback power with CJ.
Mm-hmm.
When yes, that may be the go-to call, but that's an area where you're like, okay, he once again ran it in the end zone with nobody in the back of the end zone. So that just shows you teams ain't even afraid. We'd love to throw an outside fade or a rollout corner route or a run outside, but we never attack the middle of the field with our
Mm-hmm.
6'9", 300 tight end or a 6'5", 200-pound receiver running the back line. I don't know why we don't do it. Is if we're so afraid that CJ is going to make mistakes in crucial areas, then that's just hindering ourselves considering we're beating the snot out of teams. So if anything, this is the time to say, okay, we're Stanford and Syracuse, red zone, we're just going to break tendency. We're just going to throw the football. That goes back to my saying of we don't really have continuity in the pass game because when we get to the red zone, we have no red zone plays for real.
Mm-hmm.
It's all gimmick. If we can't run it, we're going to do some gimmick, direct snap or motion the quarterback out. It's all gimmicks or run the football. And it's just that's so confusing and silly just because we have everything you need to just run a regular offense down here.
Now when they did break Tennessee, you saw what happened, right? They motioned Malachi to Tripp's right, and Malachi's in the slot, and they end up with a wide open touchdown to Malachi
Yeah,
Fields.
because probably nobody's ever seen us do something like that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, and
Like,
maybe
please,
that's
I don't want to see another boundary quick screen. Just stop. Don't run them
there's
any.
there's space in the back of the end zone. There's space. We're just in the middle of the field. I mean, think about how teams line up against us in the red zone. They just bunch up in the middle. Run behind them. Run some post up in the middle and then something behind that. I mean, good grief. Teams are making it we're hurting ourselves for no reason. Even on the short yardage. let's try to hit them over the top. How many times we see highlights every week of somebody pop passing or hitting the regular play? I mean, I don't know, man. We make it look so hard.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Left. Lucky Lefty podcast. Just some other tidbits about the offense on the day. Notre Dame, like you said, the inefficiency, 37 points. You get the pick six. They really put up 30. Don Schuler's two. That's 28. They should have put up at least 40 points offensively. 175 on the ground, 212 through the air, 387 total. Not really impressive, below what they've been doing. Third down efficiency was 4 of 12. Fourth down efficiency, 3 of 5. You're going to see those numbers those attempts stay pretty much right there because the place kicking right now with Eric Smith is just,
Have we
yeah.
ever thrown a pass over the middle in the red zone? Like maybe even to our running backs.
Yeah, Will Pauling against Boise State caught a slant over the middle.
No drags, no digs, no spots.
I believe he caught one against USC over the middle too.
But to have to think so hard, man, when we're scoring 50 points a game.
Far. Hey, man, look, far and few between.
So that's a glaring issue for me because if we're not having explosive touchdowns and we're shorting ourselves points, good teams, that's a game.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see that in the playoffs. We're playing good, everything's good, and we lose the game from fourth down stops on our own and silly play calls in the red. I mean, it's really getting silly.
Yeah.
How elementary our red zone offense chooses to be.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's a creativity issue. I think we're just so afraid of CJ turning the ball over that I don't know.
Yeah, Padawan Irish 22 Left literally just answered your question or responded to your comment, and Halsey, he just talked about that as well. Lucky Lefty podcast. Before we get out of here, we're going to hear from the head coach of your Fighting Irish, and he met with the media today. And of course, he was asked about Syracuse, but asked about CJ. We'll save those tidbits for tomorrow. But this was just his thoughts about what his team is thinking going into these games to make a run and seal the deal to get back into the college football playoffs. How is he expecting his team to continue to react and think?
Our guys watch the film, and the more you watch, like every opponent, man, it's like these guys are good. They're good. I don't care what their record says. They're a good football team. You keep the lessons you've learned from the past, right? In terms of if you don't believe you can be beaten by anybody, we can remind you what happened in the past. And so if you respect that opportunity, right? If you respect the opportunity that we have on Saturday and understand how great of an opportunity it is, you'll value the moments that you have now. You'll value what you have right in front of you and work and do the things it takes to grasp that opportunity that you have Saturday night. And so those are the things that I'll remind them. Every test as we continue to move forward will be tougher, every one. And it's not always the record of the opponent, but there's also the added human element of the outside noise of playoffs, the outside noise of maybe this team's record isn't that, like that's a challenge, right? That's why I say each test as we go forward is a greater challenge because you add that into the mix in as much as I can tell them control the noise that goes into your head. Like there's enough of it that they might hear some of it, and so it's my job to make sure that the noise I'm putting in their heads or we're putting in their heads are the loudest ones, and that it's the thought after the thought. You've heard me say that before, right? We're all human, but if we understand that the purpose is bigger than ourselves, we'll choose to have the right thought after that thought.
I like the focus of this head coach. I'm going to be honest, man. I find him to be sometimes too sharing and too honest and too forthcoming. And I've shared my thoughts on that, but you have to appreciate it. And he says some things sometimes that you say to yourself, man, I don't know if I agree, if I see it. But a tree is known by the fruit that it bears. And when you see the fruit of what he has said weeks ago manifest itself, then you'll say to yourself, that's why these players play for him, because they believe in him. They believe in him. They believe what comes out of his mouth. Pat Narduzzi's players didn't believe what he was saying at halftime.
No.
They knew the game was over. They're looking at Pat Narduzzi like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it was over with.
Like you said before the game, they were going to see in real time who we are. Like everybody sees who we are right now. Like a comeback is not on the menu today.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I salute Marcus Freeman, because as we've talked about multiple times during this show, this roster, man, and this team and the mindset they have is, yo, and Jesse Palmer said it, and I thought about it. When Jesse Palmer said, everybody on this defense is basically coming back next year. And he was like, Chris Ash is going to come into the season with the best defense in the country. And I sat back and I said, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he's right.
Yeah.
Like, they're literally bringing darn near everybody back on all three levels. And I said, hey, you might be able to take a duo out of that linebacker room and call them one of the best duos in a long time in Notre Dame as well. I mean, that's just where this team resides right now. We're watching a special group. They need to get a championship to kind of solidify what we're watching. But it's pretty special right now, Left. It's pretty special. Any other comments about what you heard from Coach Freeman before we get out of here?
No, man, like you said, he's ready. He's focused, man. I think he's ready to take on his second season. So it's about that time.
Absolutely. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Of course, go to luckyleftypod.com for that Lucky Lefty merch that's available. Starting this Friday, 15% off with the promo code Lucky. 15% off with the promo code Lucky. Lucky Lefty merch available at luckyleftypod.com. Thank you for everybody that's already ordered and got your stuff. And we've been getting nothing but positive feedback. Nothing but positive feedback. Don't forget X, TikTok, Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. YouTube, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, helps with the views. Leave your comments, questions. We respond to all. And then Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and we are presented by FanDuel, where you go over there now, you will find Notre Dame installed as a 35.5-point favorite. And a game to watch this weekend, USC on the road at Oregon at Outson Stadium. They are 10.5-point underdogs going up to Outson Stadium to take on the 8th-ranked Oregon Ducks. They are the 17th-ranked USC Trojans. That's a big matchup for Notre Dame. We need that strength of schedule to stay locked in. So if you don't want to root for USC, root against Oregon. You can find that and much more over at FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. Tomorrow, join us. Left will break down film of everything he pointed about the inconsistency of the passing game, what needs to happen, what he needs to see from CJ Carr, and we'll get a little bit more into design and some things. Come join Left. He's the best at talking about film and the quarterback position. Lucky Lefty Podcast. So enjoy the rest of your Monday, but most of all, love on each other and continue to make sure that you spin it.
Get bread.
We'll see you tomorrow.